from total atomic annihilation, the rebuilding of this great nation of ours may fall to you. That's why we at Vault-Tec have prepared these educational materials for you to better understand the 7 defining attributes that make you special. Today, we will focus on strength. In the wasteland, essential supplies will be scarce.
I believe we're due for a bit of a chat after you've spoken to Elder Maxon and Paladin Dance.
So how did it look out there?
We've got a lot of work ahead of us, brother.
Hey there.
Maxon might appear compassionate, but I can assure you, the Institute will face his wrath. Taking on a Deathclaw without backup is a great way to get yourself killed. When I get off duty, that Salisbury steak is mine.
Excuse me.
There are days I miss being out in the field. Usually during lunches. And your synth? Do those things even eat? Hungry. Rations are first come, first serve.
Excuse me.
Greetings, Knight. When it comes to keeping the Pridwin running, Proctor Ingram's the best.
If you fry up a hunk of cram with a little
The
Nuka-Cola,
Pridwin is a magnificent ship.
it almost tastes like
and
food.
we're lucky to have her
Put
in
2
our
in the
arsenal.
head and they'll stay dead. Advice to live by.
Excuse me, Paladin Dance?
There you are. How did it go with Elder Maxon?
I was very impressed with him. He seems to know what's best for everyone.
Exactly. Without his determination, we'd be lost. I just hope you appreciate how much of a chance I'm taking bringing you into the fold this quickly. Not to put too fine a point on it, but if you screw up, we go down together.
I won't let you down, Dance. I promise.
Good. Now, I know you're eager to hop into a suit of power armor and take the fight to the Institute. But first things first. In order to be an effective part of the team, you need to learn your way around this ship and get to know its crew. Since I've been officially assigned to you as your sponsor, I'd recommend taking me along with you.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Outstanding.
There. Try it now.
Nothing. I was supposed to report 10 minutes ago. If you can't fix it...
I can fix it. You're the one who
I'm
decided to
pleased
kick
we
your
were
way
assigned
through
to
a
the
mire
same
lurk.
team. I think we can learn a lot
Got it.
from each other.
There it is. Thanks, brother. I owe you.
You're an inspiration to us all, Knight. Do us proud.
Proctor Ingram, do you have a moment?
Well,
Don't just stand there gawking. What did you want?
We've got a vertibird bringing in 3 power armor suits for repair. I'm afraid that the sludge in the bay is gumming up their joints.
Ah, lovely. Looks like I'll be pulling extra duty hours again. So, you're the new recruit I heard about. Not what I was expecting. Hey, we're talking here, right? Yoo-hoo! Anyone in there?
What were you expecting?
The last batch of recruits we took on were wastelanders. Dirty, beaten up, looking for a handout. They were desperate and looking for an easy out. You look like you're here for a reason. Anyway, since you came down here to meet me, we may as well get it over with. My name's Ingram, and this lovely little grease pit is where you'll usually find me. If your power armor's too tight in the crotch, the Pridwin's about to crash into the ground, or a robot's gone haywire, you come see me.
While you're at it, my car is making this weird grinding noise when I back it out of the driveway.
You're gonna have to take a number. There isn't a day that goes by on this tub without 5 or 6 things breaking down. And since I'm stuck in this rig, I'm not quite as spry as I used to be. The work tends to pile up.
You feel like telling me how you ended up that way?
That's a little personal, don't you think?
Would it help if I promised not to tell anyone else?
Okay, okay. Get you off my back about it. I was fighting with the Brotherhood in the Capital Wasteland. Worked at a staging area for the power armor troops. Our position was along a ridge line overlooking the battlefield. I'd say it was a 100-foot drop, give or take.
Who were you fighting?
Super mutants. The damn things had wrangled a couple of behemoths and were marching on our main base of operations. To make a long story short, the ridge I was standing on took a hit from a nuke. Sheared most of the cliff right off, and caused the platform I was standing on to tumble over the side. If I hadn't been test piloting one of the power armor suits at the time, I would have died.
Your power armor helped you survive the fall?
Yeah, it took the brunt of the impact. But I don't know if I'd call it surviving. The suit was trashed after it landed, and I lost both of my legs. Haven't walked since. Anyway, I'm sure you're here to get your hands on some power armor. There's a pretty decent T-60 suit sitting in Bay 3 that's all yours. The left leg actuator's a bit sticky, but it'll keep the creeps off of you. Oh, and if you need any work done on it, feel free to use the workshops around here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to work.
Feeling creative today?
The human-looking synths are the worst. They hide in plain sight.
carry food with you, or you'll end up eating some pretty questionable things to stay alive.
If you're looking for another safe haven, there's shelter and supplies at the police station in Cambridge.
If you have a...
If you find any technical documents, you should bring them to Proctor Quinlan for analysis.
Proctor Ingram.
Treat your power armor well, and it can get you through anything. Ugh, my list of maintenance fixes keeps getting longer and longer.
I don't know what the protocol is about having dogs on the Pridwin, so I'll just pretend I didn't see
Lancer
this.
Captain Kells is one of the finest officers I've ever had the pleasure of serving under.
Knight. If you run into any synths, shoot to kill. We don't take prisoners. No matter how many battles we win, there's always another fight ahead of us. If you're looking for ammunition or weapon mods, Proctor Tegan might have what you need.
Nice.
You're pretty handy with that terminal. Halen would be impressed.
Welcome aboard, brother.
We should stock up on supplies before we begin our next mission.
Step forward, Knight. Even though they've locked me in this blasted cage, I promise that I won't bite.
Why are you in there?
I'm glad you asked. Now, this is the stowage depot, and I, as you probably already guessed, am the ship's quartermaster, Proctor Tegan. The powers that be have me locked in here, so I can keep an eye on the Brotherhood's valuables. If you need to stock up on supplies before you head out on a mission, this is the place to buy them.
Wait, buy them? Since when does the military sell equipment to its own soldiers?
Since someone dropped a whole bunch of bombs and blew up every single factory that manufactured weapons and ammunition. Keeping the Brotherhood supplied takes caps, and everyone contributes to the cause. The good news is by having a constant flow of caps, I'm able to buy whatever you bring me. Yeah, I'm mostly interested in weapons, but I'll take anything useful. Of course, if you're just looking to make a few caps on the side, I might have some extra work for you to do.
What sort of extra work are we talking about?
Oh, no. It's nothing like you're thinking. It just involves a little bit of heavy lifting and interacting with the local farms. And since I'm stuck up here manning this one-man zoo, I need someone to do the legwork for me. After you're done with the meet and greet, we can discuss the details. In the meantime, if you ever need anything else, a gun, a mod, even ammo, you just let me know.
Tegan.
Remember, come find me when you're done meeting the rest of the crew. Plenty of work if you need it.
Our vertibirds should give us the air superiority we need to win this war.
Proctor.
Come back when you're done introducing yourself.
Hail, Knight.
issues were to be in mint condition.
I'm sorry, Proctor, but this is the only limited edition annual we've recovered. Even before the bombs fell, this was the rarest issue. The one where Grognak dies and comes back to life?
Yes, Scribe. I've read the 2076 underlane price guide from cover to cover, so I'm well aware of its past value. The fault for this travesty rests squarely on your shoulders, because you chose to ignore the important lesson I taught you. Which is?
Always bag and board. I'm sorry, sir. You're absolutely right. And I promise it will never... Sir? What's that red blinking light on your terminal?
What? Oh, damn it all! I left it in record mode. Just let me...
Proctor Ingram said she needed this suit tested yesterday.
Yeah, I get it. Just... what if I miss?
Don't.
Okay, sure.
Hey there.
Firing. Duty shift was long. I'm glad we're making a difference out here. Everything holding together?
Trust me, you'd know.
Good. Firing!
All right. Everything looks nominal. And you didn't scuttle the ship. Thanks, Initiate.
Sure. Anytime. Thank God.
Hey.
Don't despair, brother. We're here to save the Commonwealth.
Hey.
Nothing to report right now, Knight.
Unless you like getting shot, never turn your back on a gunner. You think the Commonwealth looks bad? You should see the Capital Wasteland.
Excuse me.
Oh god. Mole rat on a stick was a really bad idea. Excuse me.
Joining our cause was the wisest decision of your life, brother. Never forget, you are the
Ad
eyes
Victoriam,
and
brother.
the ears of the Brotherhood. If you see or hear anything suspicious, it is your duty to report it immediately. We live in enemy territory now. Your vigilance could mean the difference between life and death. Understood?
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Good. Ad Victoriam, squires.
Ad Victoriam! Ad Victoriam!
Dismissed.
Don't worry.
Excuse me, Squire.
You'll get used to
Wish I
sleeping
could fight with my
comfortably
brothers
underneath
and
massive
sisters.
containers of highly flammable.
Hey.
In my experience, hot shots and big mouths end up with closed casket funerals. By Elder Maxon's orders, all forms of technology should be confiscated or collected.
There. That should hold.
Thank you, sister.
You know, we wouldn't have to worry about them getting out if they weren't on the ship.
Your concerns are noted, Scribe. Give Proctor Ingram my thanks for letting me borrow you.
Watch your step on the flight deck. It's a long way down.
Feel free to have a look at the specimens, but please don't touch anything. I refuse to be held responsible if you're injured.
Are all these creatures yours?
Well, they're an important part of my research, if that's what you mean. I'm on the cusp of discovering how these creatures' bodies have adapted to the radiation that's infiltrated their habitats. If I can crack the code, I can equip our troops with a protective compound far superior to Rad-X.
What do you mean, crack the code?
The genetic code. The DNA sequences that are in every living thing. You see, the ionizing radiation left behind by the Great War kills because it damages most living things on a cellular level. However, after several generations, these creatures' bodies have adapted by altering their genetic makeup to prevent cellular disruption. I believe I've discovered how I can replicate that genetic restructuring rapidly. Instead of decades, I can do it in moments. For a short period of time, anyway.
Why alter it for a short period of time? Why not do it permanently?
Attempting to alter the genetic code permanently? That's too close to what happened with FEV and Spawn, the super mutant. I'm not willing to take a chance like that. I wish I could show you a sample of the compound, but unfortunately I've hit a stumbling block preventing me from synthesizing a sample. The specimens I've already captured can only produce so much blood and genetic material. If I try and harvest too much, they'll die. What I need are more samples of blood from the creatures roaming the Commonwealth.
Will I get some of that new compound you're developing?
If I make a breakthrough, you'll be the first person I give it to. After I've tested it on myself, of course. I've modified your Pip-Boy to scan the corpse of any freshly killed creature that has the proper type of blood in its body. All you have to do is pick up any viable sample and bring it back to me. Hey, I really appreciate you doing this for me. It's nice to know I'm not the only person in the Brotherhood with an open mind.
I don't know about Scrod Naraya. I think she loves her little zoo a bit too much. Liberating the Commonwealth is a huge responsibility, but we'll get the job done.
The ends justify the means when it comes to freeing the Commonwealth.
Have you collected any blood samples, Knight?
Yes, here you go.
Is this some sort of a joke? I don't know what that is, but it certainly isn't a viable blood sample. Do you have any or not?
That depends. Are you still paying for them?
Absolutely. I received the approval from Proctor Quinlan himself. Did you have any samples for me?
No, sorry.
Drat. Well, maybe next time. I really appreciate you searching for the blood samples. As soon as I make a breakthrough, I'll let you know.
Institute giving machines free will? My programming says that's monstrous. This science won't know what hit it. Technology's in good hands with the Brotherhood. I know.
Squire.
I heard synths kidnap people. I wonder what they do with them after that.
If you keep hoarding that garbage, you're going to slow us down.
How can a machine believe it's alive? It's ridiculous. I hope your pooch knows where to do his business. If not, you're cleaning it up. I'd gladly lay down my life if it keeps humanity from repeating the apocalypse.
Do you know what a 10-pound cockroach
Aye.
can do to a
The last
policy
person that
regulator?
disobeyed Captain
No,
Kells
no,
ended up
smart.
scraping
You
rust
wanna
off
see
the Pridwin's
Brotherhood's
hull
greatest warship brought
from
down
the
by
outside.
All right.
Hey,
Don't let Maxon's age fool you. He's a brilliant tactician and an
Food's not
experienced
allowed
soldier.
near the instrumentation. Charging into a situation guns blazing is a good way to get yourself killed.
While I appreciate your attempts at diligence, Initiate, the sheer volume of complaints you have filed implicating your brothers and sisters as synth agents has done irreparable harm to ship morale, as well as your own credibility. Proctor Ingram, Paladin Dance, Elder Maxon. I understand the stress of our mission is great, and for that reason I'm inclined to show leniency for the damage you've done. Your reassignment will be effective immediately. Welcome to Recon, Initiate. Do us proud.
Hey there.
We'll stop the Institute. For Maxon and for the Brotherhood.
Wait there. Over here. Hold position. Hey. Come on.
To you, that doesn't seem old. To me, it's an archaeological relic.
I can't believe super mutants were human once. How could science have gone so wrong?
Tighten up the meter.
Like that?
Now split the difference.
There.
Now half that.
Do you want to do it?
No. I think you've almost got it. That's it. Thank you, Scribe.
Yup.
Can't talk right now. Gotta clean the Mirelux scat off my boots.
If it was up to me, I'd take every barrel, mutie, and synth and shoot them into space.
Having the Prydwen moored above the airport keeps the Brotherhood within striking distance of the city.
I heard the Elder Maxon got...
Hey there.
those synths with the plastic
Elder.
faces?
Finish familiarizing yourself with the Pridwin's personnel. Then meet me on the flight deck. Station keeping maintained. Thruster stable.
Hey.
So you're the new knight I heard about. Glad to have you on the team.
Ballonet Alpha at 93%.
I don't have time for
Compensating.
distractions right now.
Captain.
Now that you've had a chance to roam the Pridwin, what do you think, Knight?
Cute boat.
Referring to this vessel as a boat is an insult to her heritage. It took the Brotherhood's sharpest minds over 2 years to design and more than twice that to build.
Time well spent, I'd say.
Indeed. With the Pridwin in our arsenal, we can mobilize our entire division, sending her anywhere that Elder Maxon wishes her to go. Her presence in the Commonwealth ensures that our mission to defeat the Institute will end in victory.
Did the Brotherhood ever build other airships?
There were less advanced versions of the ship built on the West Coast a long time ago. Historical records about their current status are in dispute, but we're fairly certain that they were destroyed. In any event, I hope your tour of the Pridwin helped acclimate you to our way of life up here. I think you'll find that the more familiar you become with both her capabilities and her crew, the longer you'll survive as a member of the Brotherhood. You're dismissed, Knight.
Captain Kells.
All ship systems are functioning at optimum levels.
Hi.
You haven't lived until you've tipped a Brahmin with a vertibird. Now that's a challenge.
Hi.
Have you ever fired a minigun? Chews through ferrules like paper.
Recon report. Knight Wagner recording. It appears the intel claiming the old CIT ruins house an entrance to the Institute was incorrect. My scouts and I spent days combing the location for a way in and turned up nothing, other than a couple of minor casualties. When a contingent of synths boxed us into an old tunnel where we were sniffing around. My immediate recommendation would be to follow the trail back on whoever provided that intel. I suspect some wastelander is feeding Proctor Quinlan lies to earn some caps.
Would need the key.
Don't let Ingram catch you standing around. You'll be on report before... or you can blink.
Glad you finally stopped by, soldier. Are you ready for your medical exam?
As long as it doesn't involve petroleum jelly and rubber gloves, I'm ready.
No. This isn't that sort of examination. I'm going to ask you a series of medical-related questions, and I'd like you to answer me to the best of your ability. First question. As a child, were you ever exposed to radiation for an extended period of time?
wasn't that much radiation around before the bombs fell.
Before the bombs? What? Let me check my notes. You were a vault dweller? You're probably healthier than anyone else aboard. Anyway, sorry I missed that in your records. Just going down the list of questions. I'm sure you understand. Okay, second question. Have you ever had or come in contact with a person confirmed to be carrying a communicable disease?
Have you had problems with the crew catching diseases?
Well, yes, actually. It's not unusual for our recon teams to stumble across contaminated environments or disease-carrying creatures. We don't want a single crewman infecting the entire ship. Anyway, this exam is about you, so have you had or come in contact with anyone carrying a communicable disease?
Never been seriously sick in my life.
Good, good. Third question. And please, answer honestly. Have you ever had sexual relations with any species considered non-human?
That happens often enough for you to have a question about it?
You'd be surprised how many Wastelanders answer yes to that question. Fortunately, the Brotherhood finds that type of behavior absolutely distasteful. Since you haven't spent too much time in the Wasteland, I'll assume your answer is no. Last question. Would you have any problems pulling the trigger on an enemy of the Brotherhood, whether they're human, formerly human, or machine?
If my life's in danger, I'll do whatever it takes to defend myself.
That's an acceptable answer, and the most common. Excellent. I think I've got all the information I need. I see no reason to prevent you from beginning your duties immediately. If you ever need medical assistance, you let me know.
Hey there.
If Elder Maxon ordered me to follow him to the gates of hell, I'd be the first one to kick them open.
Proctor Quinlan.
Ah, good. You're finally here. Just set the books down anywhere. I'll get to them as soon as I can.
What, not even a thank you?
I hardly need to... Oh my. It appears I've mistaken you for someone else. Since it's obvious that you aren't who I was expecting, would you mind telling me why you're here?
Maxon wanted me to meet the crew, so you were next on my list.
Ah, yes. You must be the new recruit described in Paladin Dance's report. Under normal circumstances, I'd provide you with a proper orientation of my department. However, I'm woefully behind setting up research patrols and getting bombarded with requests for technical documentation. Unfortunately, I'm lacking the personnel needed to get the job done.
What exactly is a research patrol?
Simply put, we send a small two-man team to scout a location and evaluate its technical and historical relevance. Saves us from sending an entire retrieval team to a worthless location.
What type of technical documentation are you looking for?
The Brotherhood is primarily interested in collecting information that might assist us with our current mission. Medical records, science journals, weapon schematics. If it contains any type of useful data, we need to get our hands on it.
Maybe I can lend you a hand.
That would be splendid. As you patrol the Commonwealth, keep your eyes open for blueprints, memos, manuals, books, charts. Anything containing useful technical data. I'm authorized to pay you for each bundle of documents that you recover. And if you wish to be assigned to a research patrol, I have plenty of them waiting to be filled. In any event, it was a pleasure to meet you, Knight.
now that you've familiarized yourself with the Pridwin's crew. Are you ready for your next assignment, brother?
Yes, Elder.
Good. Let's get right to it then. Shall we? Take a look over there. That's Fort Strong. And it's infested with super mutants. Having those aberrations of nature close enough to smell is making me sick to my stomach. To make matters worse, they're sitting on top of a massive stockpile of Fat Man shells we could use in our campaign. I want you to head over there, wipe out everything that moves, and secure that stockpile. Understood?
Consider it done.
Look, I realize you're eager to take the fight to the Institute, but it'll have to wait. The Brotherhood cannot allow those abominations to have a nuclear arsenal at their fingertips.
It'll be a pleasure to exterminate that mutant filth.
Now, we have a vertibird on standby, fully armed, and ready to depart. Use it to carry our message to Fort Strong, and wipe those dirty mutants from the face of the earth. Dismissed.
Elder Maxon?
Get on that gunship, soldier. I want Fort Strong cleared and that stockpile secured.
Where do you want me? Do you want to have that talk now?
Does it have anything to do with the Brotherhood?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. This isn't a formal meeting. I simply want to clear the air. I think we may have gotten off on the wrong foot when we first met, and I feel like I owe you an apology. Expecting you to embrace the standards of the Brotherhood without having a history with us was unfair. And given that you've adjusted so well to our beliefs, I don't think I needed to push so hard.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. When I was an initiate, my sponsor was Paladin Krieg, toughest squad leader I ever served with. He was a model soldier, embodying the values every trainee was striving to achieve. Fiercely loyal, secure in his beliefs, and brave to a fault. From the moment I was assigned to his squad, I was singled out. It felt like he was pushing me harder than the rest of the team. I fought by his side for years, and we had some seriously close calls. But he never explained to me why I was treated that way.
It sounds like he was trying to motivate you.
If he was, I never got a chance to ask. After I was promoted to Paladin, and I'd moved on to my own squad, I received word that Krieg was killed at Adams Air Force Base. The news was like being kicked in the stomach. I mean, I'd lost some of my brothers and sisters before, but his death, well, it really got to me. It's taken me a long time to realize it. But the reason Krieg was so tough on me is the same reason I'm so tough on you. It's because I believe in you. And I don't want to see any of your potential go to waste.
What happened at Adams Air Force Base?
Back in the capital wasteland, the Brotherhood was at war with a traitorous group of rebels who called themselves the Enclave. They maintained a mobile command post at the remains of Adams Air Force Base, just outside of Washington, D.C. The Brotherhood spearheaded an assault on the command post, which was ultimately successful, but costly. Quite a few soldiers died in that battle, and Paladin Krieg was among them. He made his mark on history, and whether you choose to believe it or not, you have the potential to do the same.
I'm flattered that you have so much faith in me.
You've earned that faith by your own hand. Well, I've said what I had to say, and I hope that it meant something to you. I trust you'll keep this in confidence, of course. Some of that information was of a personal nature, and, well, I'd like to keep it that way. Would it be possible to speak off the record for a moment?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you. This is difficult for me to say, so I hope you'll bear with me as I try to get through it. When you were first placed under my sponsorship, I had some serious reservations about it. Despite all that, this has turned out to be a rewarding experience. For both of us. At this point, honestly, I don't feel like there's anything else I could teach you about being a Brotherhood soldier that you don't already know. It's apparent from your attitude and your actions that you intend to keep those ideals close to your heart.
I'm flattered to hear this, but I feel like there's more.
There is. I'm just not very good at these sort of things. Let me start at the beginning. I grew up alone in the capital wasteland. Spent most of my childhood picking through the ruins and selling scrap. When I was a bit older and had a few caps to my name, I moved into Rivet City and opened a junk stand. While I was there, I met a guy named Cutler. We got along pretty well. Watched each other's backs and kept each other out of trouble. When the Brotherhood came through on a recruiting run, we felt like it was a way out of our nowhere lives. So we joined up.
Rivet City. Must be post-war, because I've never heard of it.
You're right. It was a settlement, built inside the remains of a beached aircraft carrier. One of the safest places to live in the capital wasteland, until the Brotherhood arrived. It was the perfect location for me to try my hand at being a merchant.
I have a hard time picturing you as anything but a soldier.
Clearly, I was ignoring my calling. Anyway, about a year after we were posted to the Prydwen, Cutler vanished on a scouting op. It took some convincing, but I was able to persuade my CO to let me assemble a squad and search for him. It took almost 3 weeks, but we tracked his team down to a super mutant hive. Those wretched abominations had slaughtered everyone but Cutler. He should have been so lucky. The mutant bastards used their FEV to change him into one of their own kind. He wasn't Cutler anymore. I had to... It was my duty to put him down.
Are you sure there wasn't anything you could do to change him back?
The FEV effect is irreversible. There was nothing anyone could do.
Hey, you did what the Brotherhood taught you.
Then you understand why it had to be done. Ever since Cutler died, I've seen other soldiers come and go. Some were brave, some were honest. Hell, some were even downright heroic. But I'd never consider any of them to be a good friend. A friend like Cutler was. Until now. It's a good feeling, but it frightens me all the same. Having a bond with someone, then losing them. It changes you. I don't want to go through that again.
Well, there goes my dream of being reborn as a super mutant.
Glad to have changed your mind. I just thought you deserved to know how I felt. If you feel that I've overstepped my bounds, I completely understand. Whatever the case may be, I appreciate the fact that you took the time to listen. That's what I call locked and loaded.
Target acquired. I'll try and keep him in your sights. Primary target down. Look at that thing bleed. I'm gonna find a place to set her down and then hightail it back to the bridge for repairs.
This area seems to be in disarray. I wonder if this is recent. Quite a bit of traffic.
Nice.
Searching through it could be. This area's obviously been abandoned for quite some time. I'd just leave that if I were you. vigilant. This place may appear abandoned, but that doesn't mean we should drop our guard.
Hey.
Where do you want me? Switching out your gear?
Tricks on me.
Watch your step. There's quite a bit of debris here.
A noise?
Trash to pick through here. Searching through it could prove beneficial.
Going to explode!
Tango down! Judging from the amount of dust present, it's safe to assume we're the first people to investigate this location in quite a while.
Recon report. Knight Wagner recording. It appears the intel claiming the old CIT ruins house an entrance to the Institute was incorrect. My scouts and I spent days combing the location for a way in and turned up nothing, other than a couple of minor casualties. When a contingent of synths boxed us into an old tunnel where we were sniffing around. My immediate recommendation would be to follow the trail back on whoever provided that intel. I suspect some wastelander is feeding Proctor Quinlan lies to earn some caps.
Medical report, Knight Captain Cade reporting. I've been working closely with Scribe Naraya, examining some of the synth bodies that our recon teams have recovered. Even though we have yet to recover the synths that appear completely human, these lesser models are still astoundingly advanced. What's becoming apparent is that the Institute is the most technologically gifted.
Word came down that the Army just unloaded the first batch of the M42s this morning. I've only seen the specs for these little beauties on paper, so Private Bertram and I snuck down to take an early look. When I heard that the eggheads were designing a manned portable nuke launcher, I thought they were nuts. But they actually got the damn thing to work. And after seeing the real thing sitting right in front of me, I think they could be just enough to tip the balance of this war in our favor. I mean, can you imagine the look on the enemy's face when we get dropped into Anchorage carrying these babies? They won't know what hit them.
To you, that doesn't seem old. To me, it's an archaeological relic. This level of technology is a lost art that the Brotherhood's hoping to revive.
They're out there somewhere! Who's there? Gonna find you. A noise.
Let's show them how the Brotherhood does it. Standing down. Kill them all! Heads up! Fight to the last man!
Paladin dance.
Look at this place. You must hate these mutants as much as I do.
Absolutely. Wiping them out was a pleasure.
I wish all of mankind shared your sentiment. These monstrosities are just another example of man blindly taking a step forward, only to wind up stumbling 2 steps back. I've been fighting for years, trying to put a stop to this madness. And just when I thought we were getting the upper hand, along come the synths. I've seen what these super mutants do to people. Can you imagine what the synths would do to us if they ever got the upper hand? It would be Armageddon repeated, and maybe the end of everything that we hold dear. Look, I don't mean to bore you with my rhetoric. I just want you to understand how important these missions are.
How could synths bring about our destruction?
If the synths reached the point where they outnumbered mankind, how long would it take for them to decide we were no longer necessary? They certainly possess the capability to make more of their own kind, so we'd become expendable. And with Institute technology on their side, nothing could stop them, not even the Brotherhood. It's a nightmare scenario almost too terrible to contemplate. Anyway, that's enough of that. What's important here is that you got the job done and secured these warheads. You should head back up to the Prydwen and talk to Maxon. I'm sure he'll want to debrief you as soon as possible. Dismissed.
I wish we could arm the Prydwen, but Ingram says the weight would just make her slower.
If it was up to me, I'd take every feral mutie and synth and shoot them into space.
Outstanding work at Fort Strong, soldier.
It was an honor fighting for the Brotherhood.
I'm glad you feel that way, because our mission here has only just begun. In order to bring the Institute to its knees, we need to use every weapon at our disposal. I try to supply my soldiers with the best. That's why I'm giving you these. Signal grenades can call a vertibird to your location when you need aerial transport. Simply throw one to the ground, and the vertibird will hone in on the unique electromagnetic smoke it emits. Once you're aboard, use the map on your Pip-Boy to interface with the pilot's navigation system, so he'll be able to take you wherever you need.
Where can I get more signal grenades?
I'd use the supply I gave you sparingly. These devices are far more complex than a standard smoke grenade. Should you need more, you should acquire them from Proctor Tegan.
Will the vertibird stay and help me fight?
I'm afraid I can't spare a fully armed gunship for this task. A standard transport will have to suffice. Of course, nothing stopping you from using the door gun while in flight.
Thank you, Elder. I'll make good use of them.
I expect that you will. Now, I'm sure you're aware that Fort Strong was simply the first step towards the liberation of the Commonwealth. An even greater task lies ahead. By now, I'm sure you've deduced that our arrival in the Commonwealth wasn't coincidental. We're here because of a unique energy reading recorded by Paladin Dance's recon team. According to our scribes, the reading indicated a level of technology that only the Institute could achieve. The moment this information came to light, our mission became clear. The Institute, and everyone responsible for the creation of the synths, must be eliminated at all costs. To accomplish this goal, we need to locate the Institute's headquarters. I've had our scribes meticulously searching the Commonwealth, but they've come up empty-handed.
Where do I start?
I want you to get out there and become our eyes and ears on the ground. You seem to have a vested interest in locating the Institute before we met, so I'm confident you'll travel in the right circles. If you discover a way in, I need you to report it to me immediately. Any questions, Knight?
Aren't there any pre-war records about the Institute that might help us?
Our records indicate that the Institute was born from the remnants of a pre-war educational facility, the Commonwealth Institute of Technology. The ruins of the facility are at the center of the city, but we've already searched them thoroughly. The location appears to have been abandoned long ago, so it appears that the trail ends there. Anything else, Knight?
Could those mysterious energy readings Paladin Dance's recon team detected be related to teleportation?
The level of technology that the Institute possesses is far beyond our own, so we're not certain. However, that would explain why the readings are so random and short-lived. I'll have our scribes focus on improving our scanning techniques to learn more. Anything else you wanted to ask, Knight? I don't have time for this, soldier. Am I boring you, Knight? Well, out with it already. I don't have time for this, soldier.
suggestions where I should look next?
Your meeting with Dr. Amari seemed fairly telling. If the Institute has the capability to teleport its synths, then we're in for quite a fight. There must be a way to tap into the teleport signal, and your mysterious lead in the glowing sea could provide us with the answer. If you need any assistance mitigating the radiation in that godforsaken location, speak to Proctor Tegan. I'm certain he'd be willing to help.
Not right now, Elder.
Very well then. Dismissed.
Station keeping maintained.